Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron, and welcome back to review episode for the Chicago Bears going against the Seattle Seahawks. So we're going to be breaking down everybody that you need to be watching out for. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already out there on YouTube. Also, make sure to download the podcast. Just search for Unbearable Sports. We continue to have our promotion for every single 5-star rating we get out there on Spotify. I will personally donate an extra $1 over to the Thorn organization that helps prevent human trafficking, or actually in particular, child trafficking. Also, this month, I'm donating 20% of what this show makes over to that organization as well. So thank you for listening. You are contributing without even knowing. So thank you all so much. We have a quick turnaround breakdown episode, if you will. We are breaking down the Chicago Bears versus the Seattle Seahawks. And first off, let me just say, NFL, whose great idea was it to have the Bears travel halfway across the country over to Seattle on a short week? Like, I don't get that. It's the preseason, man. Just make it on the weekends. Just do something like that, NFL, because seriously, we have a short rest and we don't really know who's going to be playing out there. We know some, but some are unknown because it is only 2 days of practice and now they're already playing again. So it's going to be a little bit nuts out there, but like we did last time, we're going to be breaking down who to look out for. But before we go even into that, what we're going to be talking about is I actually just have to talk about Saint Omni, because we've heard about him and we talked about it last show. Who is Saint Omni? Now, a lot of people are saying that it was Roquan Smith, but more details have come out that Saint Omni has actually been kind of like a quote unquote agent or like a financial advisor for college athletes with all these new programs that these college athletes can go into. So he's kind of this like unknown financial advisor for some of these players. So he might be considered Roquan's agent, quote unquote, but he's not a certified NFLPA agent. And that's why he can't be fielding trade requests. And a big reason why is because the NFL don't want like a player's friend to be like, yeah, I'm his agent and I get 10% of what he gets. They want to make sure people are protected. And that's why Saint Omni can't be his agent, because he's not certified. So Saint Omni, real person. Go figure. Did not expect that. But he is actually a real person. So hopefully Roquan Smith can actually get an agent and we can just put these rumors to rest. But also too, he will, as in Roquan Smith, will be traveling with the team out to Seattle, just won't be playing. So at least he's traveling. At least he's being a good teammate. So that's all you can really kind of ask out there. But also, speaking of asking, got a question out there in the chat from Reload. Hey, do you think Eddie Jackson will bounce back? Now, just off of the cuff, I would say yes. I don't think he's going to be to the level of 2018 Eddie Jackson, because 2018 Eddie Jackson was the best safety in the league that we saw. He's got that ball hawking tendency, but I do think that he's going to have a bounce back season. Why? Because think about it like in your normal day job. If you have impressed your boss like crazy, and everybody who listens to this show probably impresses their boss some way or another, right? So if you're impressing your boss and they're like, you kick ass, I love you, you're great, but then all of a sudden you get a new boss, now you have to prove why you kick butt, why you are a great employee. And right now, Eddie Jackson, he's going, these guys before me, they're the ones that paid me. Now I need to get my butt in gear and make sure that I earn my next paycheck. Otherwise, I'm going to hit the road. And I think that he can be a good player out there with Brisker alongside him. So I'm looking, I think that this safety group is going to be great. Like what Skokes is saying. Yeah, Brisker right now has not practiced the past 2 days. So maybe we don't see as many big plays out of him, but there's going to be some people to watch out for at that safety position. So let's get into who to watch for. So right away, I'm actually going to show off the little screen that we got going on. So some of the starters, and Sam I am is ready for the season. Me too. I can't wait for it to start up. I can't wait to be rooting for the Bears and just like actually see this actual offense, because I think something that's been going on too is there's a lot of questions that is this the actual offense? And I don't think so. So when we see this first team offense out here, they're saying that this first team is only going to be out here for maybe one drive or two drives. So one of the things that I want to just kind of throw out here is one of the ways that I watch the preseason. I said this last preseason preview is I always like to watch for players, not the offense, because the offense isn't going to be exactly what we're running. I'm looking at players and seeing if there's some progression out of these people. So what I'm going to be looking for first is the easy one. My easy list, Justin Fields. Number one, for those writing it down at home, number one, obviously look for him. I don't even have to say it. We're all looking at him. I want to see, is he going to be a little bit quicker? If there's somebody that's getting him pressure, how does he handle it? There's a good breakdown of this online that I saw that with his sack that Schofield had, basically you can't blame Schofield 100% and you can't blame Justin Fields. Basically what happened was when the pressure came up the middle, Fields kind of went back rather than stepping up, so he ended up taking the sack. Yet again, not 100% on Justin Fields, but still something that you want to see him make it a little bit better. So next person to look out for is actually Bayless Jones Jr. So Velus has not practiced too much, but finally came back to practice. Just keep a lookout for number 12. See if the dude in dreads is going to be out there, because we have not seen him out here in this offense. He might be there just for a couple little plays, but that might be it. So everybody just keep your eyes peeled for him, because he might be there for a couple snaps and that might be it, or he might not be out there at all. And similar to Cole Kmet, wasn't out there last time, but I hope he's at least out there for a drive. If Cole Kmet, number 85, is out there for a drive, hopefully we can see some of that connection between him and Justin Fields. Now, with the offense, this is the storyline of the game. Right guard. That is the position. You can just lock in at right guard, the most sexiest of all the positions out there, right? So to me, we got to be looking at Blackson Jones. We got to be looking at Tevin Jenkins. We got to be looking at Larry Borum. Most likely, Riley Reiff is not going to be playing at right tackle. I'd be shocked if he is. It seems like he's kind of banged up, kind of on a rest day. It's a weird situation. But obviously, left tackle Blackson Jones, even though that he's considered first team, I still think they're going to give him the reps with him being a rookie. So look to see how long number 70 Blackson Jones is out there and see just what our left tackle of the future has to offer. But like I said, the story is at right guard. Number 76, Tevin Jenkins, is most likely going to be with the first team. He was practicing today with the first team, and on Thursday, he should be that starting guy out there. So that is someone to be on the lookout for, because Schofield, number 64, might actually be the starter as well. Just got to look out for that. It is going to be a position battle with Tevin Jenkins and Schofield, since Schofield didn't look great. He wasn't terrible, but he didn't look great last preseason game. And if you can get Tevin Jenkins as your guard, man, I just get goosebumps thinking about it, because you got Tevin Jenkins. He's fast. Imagine him pulling as a guard, just this enormous beast, just pulling and clearing the way for our guys out there. So that's the person I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him play. But then Larry Borum might get that start at that right tackle. Some people are saying that Larry Borum, number 75, is a wild card to start at the right tackle position because of Riley Reiff not really practicing that much. Do I buy the hype? Not so much. I think that Riley Reiff was brought here for a reason. And for those that might think, well, what about his contract? Riley Reiff's base pay is only $3 million. So if they don't like him, they can get rid of him. It's not like they're hand tied to him. It's not like that $13 million that was originally reported, because that's all incentive based. So they're only going to play too much. And Tiff brought this up too. They're really only playing the first couple. They might just play one drive, maybe two drives. But I still think that Tevin Jenkins and Larry Bourne will still probably be out there. Blackson Jones, more of kind of a wild card out there. But let's go out to this defensive side of the ball. And Sam, I am great question. I'll get to that shortly with who's going to surprise me the most out there. So let's go over to this defensive side where I wanted to put Angelo Blackson first. He's my number one guy that I'm looking out for because we didn't see him play last game. And I put a question mark next to his name because I don't think he's playing this time either. I haven't heard that he's back practicing. So number 90, Angelo Blackson, I don't see him being out there again. And the reason why I want to look out for him, and if he's not there the first drive, you just go, okay, he's not playing. Because I like his thinner frame with the rest of the defensive linemen that we have out there. I like that little bit of speed. So that's why I'm just seeing, is he going to be out there? Most likely not, but just a name to look out for. But with these starters as well, Khyiris Tonga, we might see something similar where he plays a little bit longer than everyone else, but that's number 95. Big reason why I just want to keep my eye out for him is because is he creating a push? Is he taking on two guys as kind of that 0/1 technique nose tackle, if you will? It's not a true nose because we're not doing a true 3-4, but still, can Khyiris Tonga be that space eater, that Anthony Adams, that Spice Adams from back in the day when he could do that for Tommy Harris? Now, next, the big theme here are going to be the linebackers. You can just watch the linebackers all preseason and you're going to enjoy yourself because I think this is where you're going to have the battle. Like we said, Roquan Smith is most likely not going to be starting out here, not going to be playing. So it's going to be the Nicholas Morrow, number 53, Matt Adams, number 44, and Joe Thomas, who has been starting at that Sam linebacker position. And low key, number 45, Joe Thomas, did not play bad. I think that he gets overshadowed, obviously, with Sanborn going beast mode and DeMarquise Gates dominating as well. But Joe Thomas did not look bad out there and looked really good in run defense. So Joe Thomas, he's just somebody to keep an eye out on because when we see Sanborn, when we see Gates doing well, we're going to be asking, can he beat out Joe Thomas? Joe Thomas is the guy to beat. And I think that Joe Thomas will probably be with the ones. It's a little weird because Sanborn and Gates are playing together. And we'll talk about that with like kind of the second group. But it's going to be really interesting out there. Then the last couple guys that I want to just look at for these starters, Kyler Gordon, number 6, he said in his press conference, he will be playing. So keep an eye out for number 6. He's probably going to be in the slot, but see too, if he goes out to the outside corner position, yet again, might be outside, might be inside. Just keep an eye out for number 6. And lastly, Lamar Jackson. He got the start last preseason game because everybody's injured at the cornerback position. Lamar Jackson is going to be starting at outside corner and playing a little bit more. Kyler Gordon is definitely going to be one of those guys that's just going to play like 6 snaps, 1 drive, and be done. This seems like a backup type of a game. So I feel like the starters, like they were saying, just 1 drive, and that's going to be it. So that's my list for just the starters. Some will play a little bit more and some not so much. So we'll go through the rest of the drives. I'm just going to go through some questions. So Tiff asks, I hope Justin can score a touchdown though. I agree. I think that when you see the production that he had and everybody's been showing that Darnell Mooney catch and throw, but I'd love to see a touchdown out there. I'd love to see them march down the field. I hope it is just 1 drive because they said only about 6 plays. And typically for us Bears fans, that means 2 drives because we're going to go 3 and out. So hopefully this is a true drive. We can go down there and be like, you know what, Justin Fields, you're done for the day. And then we're riding high. We're riding high. We're high-fiving each other. And yeah, can we get a touchdown with 6 to 10 snaps? I think we can. I hope that we're attacking deep. I hope that if we have Cole Kmet in as well, we start to see a little bit better blocking, especially in that run game, because we had Ryzen John in here, and Ryzen John, no longer on the team, got cut today. So now we hopefully can see maybe even O'Shaughnessy out there too. So hopefully we have some legit tight ends, and hopefully that opens up the middle of the field for our offense. And yeah, maybe we don't bench Justin until he gets a TD, just so that he's there, because we need a touchdown. We need to celebrate. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see some people, especially Kyler Gordon. I'm excited for this, but let's go on to the second team, the backups that we have out there. So the theme with this, I think that these guys are going to play a lot more, just like they did last time. I have a sense that maybe the third team's going to play a little bit extra. But let's go to these backups, because similar to what I had last time, Trestan Ebner starts off this list as the running back to watch, number 31, because we saw what he can do in open space. What I'm looking out for is, what does he look like between the tackles, man? Because Trestan Ebner, we know he's a game breaker. We know he can do that. What can he do as a true running back? Because, yeah, the Bears probably aren't going to ask him to do that, but what can he do? What can he do is really the question. And also, I bet you Trevor Siemian is probably asking, is he going to pick up his block? Because that was a rookie mistake for those that remember at the preseason game, where he was looking right, but there was somebody coming left and put a lick on the quarterback. Still young, still needs to kind of learn that. And blocking is huge for him. Like we said, this guy could be like a Benny Cunningham, a third down guy, a good receiving back, a mixture of Cunningham and Tariq Cohen. Game-breaking ability, but more of a third down type of guy. Needs to get that run blocking down and be able to run in between the tackles if he can. But the big thing to watch out here, the wide receivers. Wide receivers, to me, this is the matchup with this second team, because there is an open spot. With N'Keal Harry not here, there might even be two open spots, depending on what they thought about him in training camp. Daz Newsome, Tajay Sharp, Dante Pettis are going to be duking this out. If you're watching live on YouTube, let me know, who do you like out of that group? If you could only pick one receiver out of Daz Newsome, Tajay Sharp, or Dante Pettis, who would that be? Because I kind of go back and forth. I want to see who does the best. Daz Newsome 83, Sharp 88, and Dante Pettis 86. Pettis is doing well out there during training camp, and Daz Newsome, they were saying nobody works harder than Daz out there. He gives it 110%. He's a high energy, high effort guy, but he needs high quality hands, which he's not doing right now. He needs to hold on to the ball. That's what I'm looking at for him. Tajay Sharp shows that he can play. I think that this is going to be it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup to watch. So we got a Daz Newsome vote. We got a Tajay Sharp vote. It's going to be interesting. And I got to say too, I don't know about you guys, but seeing Dante Pettis return punts, it seemed like he was smooth. It seemed like it was easy. The punt went up in the air. He's like, I got it. The punt goes up to Daz, and he's like, oh my God, I got to do something with this. I got to go crazy. But Pettis, it seems smooth out there. And that's another thing to just watch in special teams. How does Daz look returning punts? Because that's going to be a key piece if he wants to make this roster. But the last guy that I want to look out for is Michael Schofield. I removed Doug Kramer because Doug Kramer has been placed on IR, the center out of Illinois, the rookie that we drafted. No longer, he's probably out for the entire season with a Liz Frank injury. So I think that overall, it kind of stinks because I want to be able to watch out for him. But Michael Schofield is the guy to watch at that right guard position, because if he's that right guard and if he's playing with the second teams, it means that this squad, this Bears team, is really legit about Tevin Jenkins potentially being this starting guy. I think that it would be a huge thing to see Schofield, but really, like we were saying, that right guard spot. If 64, look at Schofield, because he might be like, they're hot on my butt. They're gunning for my job. And also, you can cut Schofield yet again, similar to like a Riley Reef. You're not tied to him. Yeah, you might eat a little bit of money and kind of swallow some of your pride, but you want the best 5 people out there, and the Bears, they're sticking to that plan. Now, let's go over to this defensive side of the ball where I have another question mark. Number 97, Mario Edwards Jr., we have not seen him. He's listed as a defensive end. He could be a D tackle. He's still a guy that I want to see out there. Chances are he's not going to be playing. I just wanted to throw him out there just in case if he was. Biggest reason is he's such a wild card out there that we don't know what position he could play. I love him as a third down pass rush guy, but he could be all over the place. Now, some other people to be on the lookout for too. Mike Pennell Jr., the defensive tackle, number 63, the veteran, kind of reminds me of like Akeem Hicks light. Not saying his play reminds me of it, but he's got the beard. He's got this funny personality if you've seen some of the interviews. So it kind of reminds me a little bit about Hicks, but hopefully his play can be elevated like Hicks. The big reason why I'm saying that he needs to step up his play is I'm looking at the defensive tackles right now. We have Kyrus Tonga. He's going to make the roster. Angelo Blackson, going to make the roster. Justin Jones, make the roster. Then you have a Trayvon Coley who's sneaking up behind him and trying to make that roster spot. And so how many defensive tackles are we going to keep? 4? 5? Micah Dude Treadway is marked as our second string defensive tackle right now. So Mike Pennell needs to show something, and I really want to make sure that this defensive interior is solid. So that's why he's somebody that I am looking out for. Now, I got to also put this guy down because he's one of my favorites. Number 91 on the edge, Dominique Robinson. He is someone that I'm looking out for because, yes, he got a sack. You saw the burst, but let's see the hands. Let's see some of the moves that he's got out there. Can he get people out of the way and get a sack? I want to see him get a sack by breaking off of someone, not just blowing by or like speeding by because someone's doing a bootleg. Not trying to discredit him too much, but I just want to see him win some more of his matchups at that. So look for number 91 overall. But also, like I said before, linebackers. Like the right guard spot you're watching on offense, the linebackers you got to be watching out for because Mr. Jack, a star, is Sanborn. He is, somebody put that in the comments. I'm like, that's too good. Jack Sanborn. I am so excited to see him play. Hopefully he can come back and dominate. Number 57, and then also DeMarquise Gates, number 43. My big question here too is I am curious if Gates and Sanborn are going to be coupled up at the nickel linebacker position because that's what they're doing in practice. Right now, they're having reps with the twos. So that's where maybe is Joe Thomas being here with Jack Sanborn, or is it going to be DeMarquise Gates? Gates might be playing with the third string, so just something to be on the lookout for. I don't have the exactly what they're going to be doing out there, but something definitely to be looking out for. But also, last but not least, Elijah Hicks, the safety, number 37. He was out there with pretty much the twos because Crookshank has not been healthy. So now the rookie is getting a chance to be able to be out there. So to me, Elijah Hicks, I didn't really watch him too much. He wasn't terrible, but I want to be able to see him play. So just somebody to be on the lookout for. So number 37, Elijah Hicks. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for the second team backups and the linebackers. That's going to be the people to watch out for. So Calston saying Brisker, INT, I hope he's healthy. He's been banged up, so hopefully he's able to come in because Lord knows when he's in, dude's going to ball. Dude is going to play. I'm excited for that. So yeah. And also we got Don Burr in the comments. And I agree with Tiff that I think that he might be a closet Bears fan out here because he's on every Bears live stream, it seems like. So I agree with that out there. So if you're listening, check out the live stream every now and again. We got some good stuff going on. But yeah, so that's kind of my list for the backups like I did with the last time too. I'm going to throw all these out inside of Instagram, Twitter, also out on YouTube. If you're already subscribed, you're already ahead of the game. So I'm going to be posting these out, but we got to go to the final, the witching hour, if you will, the worst part of it all, where you wish Kyle Brandt was the announcer to make things a little bit more interesting. The third string, the third quarter, fourth quarter guys at the back end of the roster. Who am I looking for here? Let's go with this offensive side of the ball. And I'm going to go with Nsimba Webster, number 10, wide receiver, someone to look out for because to me, he is a prime candidate to make it on the practice squad. He's a good special teamer. He's also made a lot of splash plays inside of training camp. So that's where I'm excited to see what he can do because he's made those plays. Can he kind of, yes, Nathan Peterman's throwing him the ball, but I just want to see, can he separate himself? Him and Isaiah Coulter, number 82, are going to be kind of duking it out a little bit, potentially. And even a Chris Fink, number 17. Those guys are all going to be interesting, but Nsimba Webster, number 10, is who I'm circling when all the back end players come in. Now, the next people to watch out for, because like we said, Ryzen John no longer on the team, the big body tight end. We talked about him before on a lot of different episodes, but Jake Tongas, the fullback, number 46, and Chase Allen, number 47, are people to watch out for. Tongas played well last game. I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw out there for a backup fullback. I don't think he's taken away Blazing game anytime soon, but I still think that the guy can play. He's shown this, and he shows that he's probably going to be a prime candidate to be on the practice squad. I just want to see him play a little bit more just because you don't really see the fullback out there too much. And the reason why I'm also looking at Chase Allen, number 47, is because if he can play well, he's the fourth tight end right now on the roster. We might keep 4 tight ends, depending on where we put Blackson game, or Blazing game, as I like to say. So he might be fighting to say, look, I deserve a roster spot. He needs to play well, and he needs to impress. Maybe be a little Jesper Horsteady if he wants to make the roster. But the last little thing that I want to go into is the offensive line, and that is Lachavious Pig Simmons. That's right. Lachavious is making this list. Number 73, very quietly had an incredible game. PFF actually has him marked down as the best blocker on the team, actually right behind Sean Coleman, another person that was a little bit of a shock. But overall, Lachavious Pig Simmons, known as a right tackle and being a very bad right tackle at that, goes over to left guard and plays halfway decent. Not saying he's going to be starting anytime soon, but he's going to be kind of battling out Zachary Thomas at that left guard spot. And probably whoever loses makes it over to the practice squad. And right now, Lachavious Simmons is looking like the better player at that backup left guard spot. Just somebody to watch out for. And just like I was saying before, right guard Ja'Tyre Carter. Keep an eye on those right guards. Carter might go in a little bit earlier, but number 69 didn't have a great game last game. But right now it looks like it's Schofield versus Tevin Jenkins. So I just want to see him a little bit more to see Ja'Tyre Carter, number 69. Is he good? Do we want him as the backup? So far, I don't mind him. But if there's a battle at right guard, he might be the odd man out and then goes down to a practice squad spot. But last little bit, we got to go through this defense overall. So this defense for the third strings, the backups, what we're looking at right now is Micah Treadway. Yet again, that second string guy. I want to see him at that defensive tackle spot, number 98. I didn't watch him too much when I was going through the tape, but I want to just see where's some of these flashes. I want to see him flash with the lesser competition against the third stringers. And also Trayvon Coley, the number 79 defensive tackle. We saw him get 2 sacks. We saw him dominate against this lower competition. I could see him moving up. I could see him coming out in the second team rather than maybe a LaCale London. It's going to be interesting to see where 79 goes, because here's a guy that we signed that could be climbing up this depth chart and trying to make his way literally onto this active roster. So someone definitely to be on the lookout for is that Trayvon Coley, number 79. And then now we go to the linebackers. I put a question mark next to Joe Thomas, like I said, because I don't know if they're going to do groups of linebackers. Joe Thomas is a starter. So if they want to group it up with two linebackers, Joe Thomas and Caleb Johnson might be that back of the roster guys that come out here if they want to see Sanborn and Gates out there with the twos. Do I think Joe Thomas is going to be out there? No. But I wanted to at least put him out there just so that we have him out there on the list because 45 is fighting for that spot, fighting for that starting area. But another piece too is Caleb Johnson, number 92. Caleb Johnson is kind of the odd man out with all of this. Caleb Johnson was kind of easily seen as the number 2 guy. We loved him in the preseason. Still like him, but man, when you see Sanborn, when you see Gates play, there's something different. So hopefully they can continue that play and do some great things. But Caleb Johnson, he's got to be fighting out there and show he's not just a special teams guy, that he can be potentially a linebacker, especially when your base defense does have 3 linebackers out there. Now, the last little bit that I want to throw out here are the secondary. So we have Jalen Jones, number 35, a cornerback. I know that somebody in the chat, if it was you, call yourself out and you'll get some publicity. But somebody out there was like, Jalen Jones, telling you he's someone to watch out for. Jalen Jones quietly had a good game, a very good cornerback. And right now with all the injuries at corner, we need somebody to kind of elevate and show like, hey, I'm healthy. I'm a body. Let me show you what I'm capable of. He did well. Number 35, definitely got to look out for him out there. But then also the safeties. AJ Thomas, number 21. You might have heard them talk about him as being the box safety. Keep an eye out on him. Now, he's not going to be a starter. He's not going to be a backup because he's not going to beat out Elijah Hicks. If he does, impressive. But he played very well out there. Very quietly good performance. And I think that AJ Thomas is fighting his way to the practice squad. And someone who also came back from the dead, John Alexander, who was previously cut, was brought back, number 17, safety. Just keep an eye out for him. He might not even play, but the reason why just keep an eye out for him is he looks different. He's tall. He's big. You want him to work out, but he might not. So if he's out on the field, just keep an eye out for him to see if he makes some of these big plays out there. But I'm going to go back up to one of the questions that we had out there. That was a really good one. Now that I have some time to think about this, Sam I Am Gaming asked this, who do I think this will surprise people the most? Now, since we already saw a game, I think that it's difficult to say who will surprise the most. Because honestly, I was actually going to go with Brisker if this was like the first game, because I don't think people understood how good he was or how good he is going to be. And he's going to turn some heads out there. Now that people have actually seen Brisker, and now Brisker might not be out there, I'm thinking about who might be that guy that's going to surprise some people. And I'm going through the list, and maybe somebody, it sounds almost too cliche, but I think Tevin Jenkins at that right guard spot is going to be the person that impresses the most, because I think he's a natural guard. I think that what he's going to do is he's going to move this pile. He's going to push people around, and he is going to make an impact. And that's why, to me, Tevin Jenkins is going to surprise people come Thursday. I still think he's going to probably do something boneheaded. Let's just throw that out there. he's going to do something boneheaded, but I think he's just going to, that's got to be his position. And everything that we're hearing out of camp, he's looking the part at right guard. So Tevin Jenkins, to me, is going to be the one that shocks us all. Let me know, for all those people watching, whether it's live, whether it's not live, let me know who your surprise pick is going to be out there. I'm really excited to see this. We have all the list out here. Like I said, I'm going to post these lists out on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Unbearable Sports and you'll find us out there, and you can kind of have that list all together. If you're just listening, hopefully you wrote some of the stuff down. You can also just literally Google Unbearable Sports and I'll throw it out there the day of the game. But guys, thank you all so much for coming in. The chat was crazy today. I'm looking through all this stuff. It's making me laugh. But guys, thank you all so much. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to rate us 5 stars out there on Spotify. You just might have to follow the show and then rate 5 stars. After that, I will donate $1 over to the Thorn organization. It helps human trafficking. It's an amazing organization ran by Ashton Kutcher. I also donate 20% of what I make with this show over to them as well. Thank you guys all so much. And Unbearable Sports Podcast, we're out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a bad chick.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.